Peace fam, it's Ace. A lot of y'all recognize me from Facebook where I do a lot of my intuitive messages. So I have recently joined Hood Academy because I have a lot of knowledge to share with y'all. The collective needs to know this. This is where we're headed. So I'm gonna do my part to bring this knowledge to you all as part of Hood Academy. And where I want to start today is I want to do a series on the chakras. I want y'all to understand what the chakras are and how they affect your life, right? Because we're heading into a new age and things are different. You have to have this type of knowledge. We could go into a lot of things as far as money changing, our ways of life are changing. So, my people perish for lack of knowledge, right? So, I take it upon myself to bring as much knowledge as I can, as well as the rest of Hood Academy. So I'm going to be doing a series on the chakras of the body and what they really mean and what they really represent. So in short, they are areas of the body where they're energy centers of the body. Okay, and these things affect you spiritually as well as physically, and they affect the things that you encounter in your life. Because if you don't know by now, we're just huge bodies of dense energy, and what we do, what we think, what we feel affects the life that we live. So today, we're going to start with the root chakra at the bottom here. This is the red, and this represents our stability. This represent our basic needs like money, food, shelter, um, you know, the stability we had as children, because these things affect us as we become adults, and they affect how far we can go in life, essentially. So, I'm Ace. I'm here on this platform. Shout out to Tay, so that I can, give you more organized messages and just do my part for the collective. And this is collectively speaking. All right, so we're starting with the root chakra. Like I said, um, this is our sense of stability. Um, Physically, when we have blockages in any parts of our chakra, that affects who we are as a whole, right? That affects our ability to manifest. That affects our masculine energy, which helps us go out and provide and execute our plans, right? That affects our feminine energy, which is the creative part of us, right? So in order to be whole, we have to try to keep these energy centers clear as we can. So we're going to start at the bottom with the root chakra. All right. So here, when we experience blockages, we're talking about things like, chronic back pain, sciatica. We're talking about eating disorders, arthritis, constipation. See, this is stuff that they don't really they don't really teach you. You know what I'm saying? There's medical terminology from it, but essentially these are energy blockages and they manifest as these types of illnesses. Okay, in the physical world outside of us, this can manifest as money problems. This can manifest as not having a home. This can manifest as not being able to have our basic needs met. So, things like this, when you experience them, and we all do, it just means that, we have some blockages down there. And the more that you become able to identify, like, which chakra is affecting you and what problems you're having in life, the more cognizant you'll become of how to fix your problems, essentially. So, yeah, you experience those types of things when you have the root chakra blocked. And if those things are blocked, if you don't have your basic needs, right, in the hierarchy, then that affects your confidence and your self worth, right? So, therefore, without confidence, it's very hard for us to execute anything, any plans. So we always want to make sure we keep these energy centers clear. So we're going to start at the root, because you have to. I mean, the way the energy flows, this is just the first place we can start looking at blockages and whether we need to clear that out so that we can eventually get up to the crown, right? And become God body. So, some things that we can do with the root chakra, in order to help unblock it. Um, of course, healthy eating habits. That means a lot, you know. Um, we can do grounding. We can go out in nature. We can dance. We can just get active. You know, you really want to become physically active. I mean, I'm not crazy about exercise, you know, but these things are important, even if it's just walking outside barefoot, even if it's just, you know, watching your diet more, which is really what I've been on. I think I've lost like 30 pounds since April, 30, 40 pounds since April. And I do see the effects in my outer world of me taking that initiative, because you know, and sometimes when you're farther into your journey, like me, I have, you know, already gone through the process of clearing all my chakras, right? So now I'm at the point where I'm just maintaining. So when I notice problems, I'm able to figure out what chakra that is and how to unblock that. So with me personally, when I experienced like root chakra problems, I started to realize it was my diet. So I've really been focused on that as of late. So that's just like, you know, some pointers there. But I really love to bring Tay in, to talk with me, because he asked some really good questions and, questions that I'm sure you all would have too. So I'm going to bring Tay onto the show with me to ask me, you know, some questions, and we can go back and forth about that to help clarify what I'm telling y'all, because you know I'm always posting this stuff on Facebook, but I can only make my stories so long. So, with having the opportunity to have this platform, hopefully, you know, y'all can gain more of an understanding of where I'm coming from, because at this point, I can tell a lot of you, understand where we're headed and that you need to know this stuff. And, you know, it's deeper than going to church. And there's nothing against church. It's deeper than reading the Bible. Like, you really have to understand that you are a spiritual being in a physical body. And when you start to understand that and have that enlightenment, then you can live life, you know, the way that you should. And you start to encounter more of the experiences that you want, you know. So, yeah, I'm going to bring Tay on and we're going to talk a little bit more about this.
Did y'all miss me? Did y'all miss me? Did you miss me? Oh, yes. Yes, you didn't think you'd see me here, did you? I know. All right, y'all relax. So, I am the guest host for today. My name is Tay D. Bear. I give the best hugs, but don't leave your honey around me. But it's not about me today specifically. It's about me today universally. So, Miss Ace, thank you for joining the team. You are a lovely, lovely woman. Lovely woman. I swear. I swear. It's all good, though. It's all good. So, what question? Where are we starting today, Professor Ace?
All right, so and thank you for coming on, Tay. I'm honored to be part of the Hood Academy.
Hey,
So
we're a team.
today, you know, we're doing a chakra series for the collective so they can understand what's going on. We're going to start with the root chakra today. I was explaining to them that that's basically your stability, your basic needs, you know, and that's the lowest chakra in the body. So, you
So,
know, that's at the base of the spine. And
basically,
we can
your
start to,
foundation.
yeah, that's your foundation. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, you hear that? Your root chakra is your foundation.
that's your foundation. That's your
Your, bo-
stability.
your body's a temple. That root
Indeed.
is your foundation. Okay, I'm following you. I'm here.
So, and I was also telling them, Tay, how like when we have blockages in this area, how that can manifest in life. And that can be money problems, that can be physical symptoms, eating disorders, all kinds of things. Because medically we know what it is, but we don't know like the basis of it. And I'm very spiritual, but I'm also a realist. I'm also well versed in medical things, and so I've had the opportunity, like throughout my career, being that I've been working in the medical field since I was 19 years old, and I'm 36 now.
Oh,
I've had the opportunity to see like how these things come full circle, how they're all connected. So a passion of mine is just really getting people to understand that this is not just make believe. Like all of these things make us who we are. All of these things affect us. So
so if I may ask a question, what for somebody who is very inexperienced, I'm just going to say green, all the way around green, what would be a great component to start with on a leveling field? Like, because I mean, in order to reach somebody, you got to touch them, right?
mhm.
So what would be the, if I may say, what would be your connect point with the root? Because a lot of people think that you're supposed to just take care of your head and you're fine, or your heart, you're fine. Like, but the actual root. So, if I, what would be your connection point, if I may ask? What would be a good
So
connection point for somebody who's new?
so I want people to understand like the root is the chakra. The root chakra is the foundation, right? So you can't build anything on an unstable foundation. Is bound to crumble. We know this, right? Physics tells us this. So if you're going to start anywhere, start with your stability. Start with your basic needs. Before you get all into burning incense and hugging trees, nothing wrong with that. But you definitely want to start with your stability, because without that, it's hard to get to the other chakras. Honestly, you know.
Okay. Okay, so we're saying foundation, foundation, foundation. Are we
Mhm.
talking about okay, so are we talking about from a life perspective, as in like you're as a kid, or are we talking about perspective as in your foundation and relationships? Because a lot of your life really don't, it really feel like your life don't really take on a sense of purpose until you start entertaining somebody else. Because that's when you gotta align yourself. So is there a correlation in that?
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you said that, because another lesson that we come to learn, we don't come out the gate learning this, but later in life we learn what codependency is, and actually, you should be complete without anyone first. A lot of us do it backwards. We're kind of taught, you know, we're kind of taught and programmed in society that, you need to have that other person, which is great. Love is great, right? I have my person. I thank God for him. But before I found him, I had to know who I was. I had to be stable in who I was. You know, I had to find my passion. I didn't even know what my passion was. And so
Okay.
when I came into that, that's when I started meeting people that were better suited for me. Let's put it like that, because I've been through the BS, the toxicity. But in hindsight, I realized it's because I didn't really know who I was, what my passion was, what my purpose was. So the foundation has to be laid. You have to come to the understanding of these things before you can bring someone else along, because a relationship is actually a big responsibility. It takes a lot of maintenance. And if you don't know who you are, if you don't stand on who you are first, um, you'll be doing all kinds of things out here. You fall for anything.
That's very true. That's very true. And I mean, just to add on what you're saying, so what it seems to me is that what you're telling us is, as long as as long as you're your own foundation, right? You have to
Right,
you have to set your own foundation.
right.
Now, for people who are in denial with themselves, and they say they have a strong foundation, how could you distinguish that their foundation isn't strong? Because there's a lot of strong foundation with leaky parts, but it works for them. So can you have a damaged foundation and it still work?
I mean, are you truly happy? Are you truly satisfied with what you're manifesting? Do you really feel secure in your
Okay.
life? You know, only you can answer that question. Just because, you know, something is up and running doesn't mean that it's in optimal shape. So, you know, that's where self-reflection comes in. That's where meditation comes in. And you just and like I said before on other stories that I've done on Facebook, meditation, you don't have to sit there and out. You know what I mean, right? You can just be in deep thought and contemplate, like, am I really happy with where I am?
Okay. Okay. So just going off a foundation, and since we're talking about the root chakra, and I'm just going by the placement of it,
Mm-hmm.
would it be safe to say that that is one of your most pivotal areas of connection? You know, like, because I mean, it is in the private area. So, you know, and I only ask this because there might be somebody out here who's hypersexual, but they don't understand why hypersexuality, why their hypersexuality is so rampant. You know, like is it a
Mm-hmm.
way to close off or secure that gate, that portal, you know, that leads to, you know, further up, I guess, because this is new for me. So
Absolutely, it's very important. When we go into sexual energy, that's more into the sacral chakra, but however, the root does touch, you know, like your anus. So yeah, you know, it does have a lot to do with sexual energy as well. And there can be traumas that we go through as children that would affect the root and the chakra. And of course, those are very important. I know a lot of people that go through sexual trauma as children, as adults, they often grow up with disorders or issues or hypersexual, you know. So it's very important to address these first. Absolutely, 100%. You don't want to open your crown with traumas that you haven't addressed. That's actually very dangerous because you want to address these things. This is heavy stuff. You want to address these things one energy
right,
shot at a time. Yeah,
right.
especially when you're talking about sexual trauma or, you know, your sexuality. So the root, it's a good place to start. But the sacral is where you really get into the sexual nature of things.
Okay.
Um, and we have to understand that just as we're spiritual beings, we're sexual beings, we're put here to reproduce, you know. So these things are very important. So before you start moving up, like you said, to the higher levels, that has to be addressed. Absolutely. You won't be able to prosper, you know, without addressing these things.
Okay. Okay. So for my understanding, and you know, for anybody else who's watching, uh, so with the root, when it comes to the root or your foundation,
Hmm.
what are the key components for identifying that you're on the right path? Because a lot of, especially in this day and age, there's a lot of, you know, instant gratification or instant results, but they, you know, this is a journey, and it's probably a never ending journey, I'm sure, you know, of constant, you know, improving yourself, constantly improving
Hmm.
yourself. I'm pretty sure it's a never ending journey. But
Yeah,
what are some
absolutely.
what are some markers or some clear pathways that, or some indicators, let me say it like that, what are some indicators that will let you know that you're on the right path?
So some
Because
key indicators that, you know, you're doing good, you're unblocking that energy. For when you found your purpose, you know your purpose, or you have a goal that you're working toward, you know, you have a stable relationship, you know, or whether it's friendships or, you know, you have friends that have been around for a long time that's stable. You know, anything in your life that's pushing you to work toward stability, toward laying a foundation. If you found a way to do that, if you're actively putting in that work, then you're in a good place. You're in a really good place. You
okay,
just always want to keep
okay,
in mind foundation. Am I building? Am I at least trying to build something? Right?
yeah, because
'Cause I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I found my purpose. So,
and
you know,
and
that
and
energy is clearing.
and that's a beautiful thing in itself, is knowing your starting point,
Yeah.
because that's the biggest imprint that you're going to make, because nobody has started there, you know,
Mhm.
especially with yourself. So if you're making an imprint for yourself, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a great and inebriating feeling. So
Absolutely.
so with that being said, you know you're on the right path. How do you protect yourself along the way? We don't distinguish that you're going to come into markers of knowing that you're on a good path. But how do you protect yourself along the way and protect your foundation? Because like you said, it's a never-ending cycle. So I'm pretty sure there are things that might work once but won't work again type situations.
So, life is full of decisions, right? We make decisions every day. We pray for discernment to understand when people and situations come into our life. So, anything that's going to take you away from your purpose, anything that puts roadblocks in the way of what you're trying to accomplish, even if it's people, family members, jobs, you know, that it's just the universe's way of letting you know, like, this has to be released. This is not meant for you. This is not on your path. Anything that's going to drag you away from building the foundation that you see for yourself, because you determine this, you co-create with the Most High. So anything that is taking you away from that, you have friends that are into things that you're not into anymore, that are not, conducive for what you're trying to build. Key indicators that they have to go if you're serious about your growth. We see them every day. Sometimes we do things and we know that's not really what we want to do. That's not really on our agenda, but the girls want to do it, or everyone else is doing it. But that's where you have to have strength, and you have to know this is not where I see myself headed 10 years from now. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to put it down. And that's where self-love comes in. Do you have enough love for yourself to stay on that path and release things that don't serve you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this is I think we're making great points, especially for the people out there who don't really understand it. This is an introduction. This is it's a constant. I got to stress this point. It is a never-ending journey, not a battle, but a journey, which means, once a battle is over, you count casualties. Once a journey is over, you relive the experiences. So,
absolutely.
So that, it's all about your perspective when it comes to starting a foundation, staying on the right path, and just making sure that you are elevating yourself at a steady rate. It is not a race. Although it's a journey, It is not a race. And I think that's what I'm learning from what you're saying. It is not a race.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In my opinion, no one still living is fully enlightened, right? In my opinion, if you're fully enlightened, you leave this body, you leave this dense energy. So every day is a healing day. I'm probably about 3 or 4 years on my deep spiritual journey, and I still get tests all the time. The same test from day one when I didn't know who I was. So every day is a learning day. Every day is a healing day. And you'll start to understand, every decision you make is critical in who you become. Have you ever seen those movies where people go back in time and they might do something real minuscule, like move a comb to the left, and then they'll come back to their present time and they'll realize they never had their wife? It's really like that. The decisions that you make is very critical. So as you get further in your journey, you start to learn that me saying no today is going to help make the person that I am tomorrow. Absolutely. Okay. And I still go through these tests, like I said.
Okay. So it's best to always remember that you're human when you're doing this journey.
And it's a beautiful thing to be human, yeah.
And the energy that you are seeking, it's not a materialistic energy. It's not it's not like happiness. I think people really confuse happiness with peace, because happiness is situational, peace is universal.
Absolutely. So, I love that. I love how you said that.
So at this point, I feel like we done gave you guys we done gave you guys enough something to think about. We're gonna go to a quick break and we're gonna get right back into it. This is Collectively Speaking.
And we're
Okay.
back.
We are back. We are back. We are back. So, in that short time of us being our little intermission, I do have a question.
Okay.
I do have a question. Since we're talking about the root and everything starting, is it possible to have a shaky start and still have? Is it possible to have a shaky start and still have that, that feeling of I can make this work? Because like we said, it's a journey. We understand that it's never
Mhm.
going to end. And when it does end, that means you have completed your rotation. But I asked this question for the simple reason being, there's a lot of people who that first step may have been shaky, and it has rattled them to take that step a little slower. But they might need to pick up the pace. I'm not saying go fast, but in order for you to take that next enduring step, you're going to endure moving your feet. You're going to have to endure, you know, progressing. So, what are some words to really? What I'm not going to ask for words. What would you say would be a great way to make sure that not you're not shaken, or you haven't become stagnant?
Mhm.
You am I saying what am I making
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
here?
I actually I like that question. What I got from it was two parts. So I'm glad you asked that. Let me clarify. The first part is it doesn't have to be perfect, right? I made many mistakes. Sometimes I still do. So life is every day is a journey. Every day is a healing moment. Every day is learning. So as long as you're still consciously, actively trying to progress, you're on the right path. There's no perfect way to do it, and there's no one way to do it. My path isn't your path. You know what I'm saying? We're all different. It's as unique as a fingerprint. So there's no perfect way to do it. Um, but the second part, I mean, honestly, like Tay, as long as you're making a conscious effort to grow, to do new things, to have new experiences, to overcome your fear, right? Because I'm a very introverted person. You know, you couldn't have told me 2 years ago that I would be up here doing this, Tay.
That
You know
is true.
me a little bit
That
from the
is true.
hospital. I talk to you, but you know, that's about it. You have that personality. So you have to keep pushing yourself to do new things. And as long as you like conquer fears that you have, you're gonna blow past it in no time. I'm telling you. You blow past that chakra.
Okay. Okay.
The things that scare you are the things that you have to conquer.
Okay. So I'm just once again, I'm the questionnaire guy. I gotta say that, you guys. I'm the questionnaire guy. When did you know that your foundation was set for you?
Um, you know, even though I had been in my career for a long time, when I would really reflect, I there was a feeling of just not being satisfied, just not being satisfied. Grateful, you know, I understood that I was blessed, but I just felt like something was missing. And I think that's how you know, God calls us when we get that feeling like I should be doing something else. I couldn't put my finger on it, and I tried many different things, right? And that didn't satisfy me. So when I finally started to think about the things that come to me naturally, like understanding these principles, like astrology, things I do just for fun, and I understood, wait a minute, you know, I have a really deep knowledge of these things that a lot of people don't, and they're interested in hearing what I had to say. So when I started to understand that and I overcame my fear of being in the light, of being, you know, showing people what I'm really interested in and who I really am, and breaking out of that, you know, stereotypical whatever people wanted me to be and just being me, um, I really felt fulfilled. I really felt peace. I really felt happiness. So you just have to stick with who you are inside. When nobody's looking, I'm studying this stuff. When nobody's looking, I'm understanding these things. So if what I say can bring people peace, and I get feedback from people thanking me and, you know, asking me questions, and I started to understand people really do care about this stuff and I really am helping certain people, that's when everything changed for me. Everything.
So,
I am who I'm supposed to be.
okay, okay. So I understand that it's not a materialistic thing that you're looking for when you're creating your
No.
foundation or when you're unlocking your different portals of your chakras.
Well,
So,
at first, Tay, I was. I'm gonna tell you some real shit. What really started me, I saw that movie The Secret, right? And I saw that people can manifest things they want. I saw that people can manifest material stuff that they wanted. And so I was like, what else I got to lose? Let's try it. And I one thing about me is when I go to do something, I want to understand it inside and out. So I started trying to see, okay, well, what's the difference here? Why can some people create what they want out of nowhere and some people don't? So when I started really researching this stuff, and I started learning more about it, I started to care less about the material. I
okay,
started to care less, and I started to really be interested in who I am and my purpose and my soul. And that's just a blessing because I don't care about those things now. I get those things, I get a lot of blessings, but it's not about that anymore. It really set me on my path. God has clever ways of working, and that's how He reeled me
that
in.
is true. That
I'm a
is true.
Taurus. I like the nice things, material. I want to know how to get it.
That is
So
true.
that's how He reeled me in, and that's just the path I've been on ever since. For someone else, it might be different, but that's my story.
Okay, now on your path, and you mentioned friends. Have all of your friends accepted that you're not focusing on the, for I guess like the stage. You're focusing on the arena. You see what I'm saying? Like the bigger picture. Have a lot of your friends, have you lost friends because of this? Have you gained friends? I mean, because I'm asking because I know for sure that this isn't easy on yourself, but I know that this has to be taxing somewhere to other people, So, and like you said, cutting those people off and things like that. But I'm just asking, like, when you lost friends, is it possible to regain those friends in a different manner? Like, I'm
I mean, yeah, when I first started going through things, I found that I was falling out with a lot of people. I didn't really understand why. I was kind of confused about it because at this point, I just want to manifest like the money and stuff. Like, why am I falling out with people? Why are all these things happening? But when I started to understand that we're all on different frequencies, if depending on where our energy is usually, right? And so I started to yeah, so um, you know, we're on different frequencies. So as I started to put certain things down, certain ways of living, certain lifestyles, I did lose some friends. Also gained some friends, and you'll also find that you'll have day ones that support you no matter what. So they're part of my foundation. Like I'm very grateful for them. Um, they've always known that I was this person. I never hid who I was from them. So I think my day ones, they're just happy to see me finally like be who I was meant to be. And I've made new friends that I can relate to.
this is
So
this is this is very enlightening.
yeah, I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm looking forward to continue the rest of the series, as
I
well
am
as
too.
being on some other episodes with my Hood Academy fam.
Hey, we here. Hood Academy, sit down and learn something. It looked like today we learned about our root chakra,
Yeah,
and and friendships and everything correlates back to the root. Am I right?
Absolutely. And you don't have to have it all figured out as long as you're making that conscious effort. I mean, I'm telling you, like, the Most High suck you in, and it's over. You're gonna find your purpose, and you're gonna take off from there. I promise you that. I'm a
Okay,
living
so
testament.
departing words. Well, not departing words, just words until our next venture together. What what's some words you have for the people who are starting with their root chakra?
Every day is a learning day. Every day is a healing day. And like I always tell you, um, I'm proud of y'all, fam. That y'all even conscious of this type of stuff and want to learn more. I
Most
love you
definitely.
and peace.
As she said, that is your Professor A. She is part of the Hood Academy, Hood Academy, Hood Academy. Sit
Hey,
your ass down and learn something. I am your host, well, co-host today, Tay D Bear, once again, and we're done. You guys, until next time, elevate yourself and stay out of trouble.